Every time Woody's wife, Cynthia, comes in, I always wonder why we don't have Woody's wife, Cynthia, in more often. Because I think everybody is fascinated, curious, has many questions.
The first question is, how do you do it?
and why? I think how and why.
It's clearly the sex. I mean, that's, look what you get.
Well, I know that the charity that you're involved with is doing some amazing things, but before we get there, Cynthia, let's talk about Woody going camping in a hurricane. Take all the time you need to discuss terrible decisions, and if you're not going to say it was a terrible decision, rethink it.
Well, no. You have to understand first and foremost that I love Woody and I believe he loves me, but I know that I'm probably second or third after Bike. There's Bike, dog, family, kind of.
Bike, dog, family. Dog? Well, we talking about your dog is number two?
Well, I
Woody?
think Tegan, yeah. But Bike is number one. Bike, there's nothing I can say. And in fact, if I ask, that's like, he'll just harden. He is beyond obsessive with that thing.
But I mean, there are other places to bike besides in a hurricane.
Yes, but this is something like he is so silly giddy about it. And of course, this is where he's going to meet with a whole bunch of people that he gets together with every year. And if they could redo that, easily, then I'm sure maybe he would change his mind. But none of them were smart. Well, let me take that back. It sounds like, maybe 14 of them were smart? Just 9 of you decided not to be smart?
I mean, it's not necessarily smart, but just couldn't get there. So
thank you.
They were just prevented.
No.
Yeah, well, the boys from Atlanta tried to get there.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I guess the ones from Atlanta and Florida struggled, but there were supposed to be like 25, and there only ended up being 9. So that tells you something. And I don't think they're all from the South. So
right. So some of them are smarter than others.
It was dumb.
But I mean, it was tough too, right? I mean, was there a point there where you were fairly worried?
Oh, yeah. I mean, because there was a good 24 or 48 where, 24 for sure that I couldn't get in touch with him or the kids. And then eventually heard from one of the kiddos on a landline, and then, but still with him and, the situation because of, I knew he was struggling to get out some way, shape, or form. I knew he was probably fine, but no, let me take that back. It was crazy, just not knowing, because there's plenty of people that thought this was nothing.
Right.
Or, we've all been there. Like they make everything seem so much bigger, and then, that's all that was. So, life happens, and they were up in the mountains. And so who knew, I didn't have a good sense of where they were versus where everything else was. So yeah, no, it was unnerving, but we were better off than so many.
All right. I wanted you to bash him more, but I'll accept that. It does feel very reasonable and well thought out. So
no, it wasn't well thought. I mean,
your response.
Oh, well, yeah.
Not his trip. No.
Let's just say there's certain things I've given up on.
Okay.
It's been 25 years, and you have to we're at the pick your battles point. He's better off now that after he almost died that one time that he rode his bike. That changed him a smidge, so it has given me a little bit more faith in his daredevil side.
I didn't almost die.
Yes, you did.
I was almost paralyzed.
Paralyzed, fine.
So
and you would
there's a difference.
You would have been miserable, so I wouldn't have wanted to be around you. So
I didn't realize the dog was number 2. That's an interesting development that I wasn't prepared for.
I love my family, okay?
Oh, yeah, we're on the list. We're top 5.
Maybe top 5.
Yeah.
Depending on how you're acting,
We're just not
top 2.
We made the list.
We're on the list. We're just not top 2.
Yes.
All right. That's
also
good.
why I'm thankful I control the money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of family, there's a great event that's happening at NoDa Brewing this weekend that revolves around families.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if somebody's new and doesn't realize that Cynthia's involved with, I guess you started this charity, right?
Yep.
Called Mind, Body, Baby, and they do all kinds of things. Maybe the nutshell on that, Cynthia?
Well, we as an organization are here to support new and expecting families through the journey, because there are a lot of challenges that you don't necessarily get to plan head on. both physical and emotional. And so we provide many, many, many services to support individuals in Mecklenburg County on that journey. The event itself is a very fun event. It's a great way to learn what's in the community for that journey, especially like if you're new to Charlotte, and there are so many of us that are. But it's also super infant, toddler, family friendly, and it's at NoDa Brewing. Lots of activities, going to be a beautiful day. And then again, just a great place to find out what's there for you as you go through, pregnancy, postpartum, into the first years of early parenting, which can rock your world.
What we learned when we were having young kids was that we weren't asking the right questions sometimes. And it was amazing how many times were people like, oh, you needed to ask this question to get that answer. And this is an event where you can get around people that have those answers or maybe are going to tell you, oh, you're struggling with this problem. Here's who to ask. And she's right there. That doctor is right there. You can go talk to her. Or I know somebody and I'll get you in touch. And it's at NoDa Brewing.
Yeah.
Which is, that's fun for everybody.
Correct.
Yeah. And like I said, if you have little people, it's a great place to bring them. We'll have playground, face painting, splatter art, a tummy time tent for the little ones. And like I said, we're there to kind of talk about the things that often aren't talked about, that we all end up learning the hard way that really shouldn't be that way, that we could save ourselves a lot of emotional energy by not being left to struggle on our own. So that's the main goal, is to send you away with the really useful information that you didn't know would be that useful, because you haven't done that before. You haven't been a parent before.
And you're going to run into other parents who are in your same sort of shoes.
Lots of them.
A lot of peers that you can bounce ideas and thoughts and questions off of as well.
And hopefully even meet new people, new friends.
Right. You build
in the same boat.
A support system, a network of people.
So you're going to find everything from lactation to sleep support, doulas, pelvic recovery, parent coaching, infant development. Goodness, the list goes on. And then there's a lot of fun stuff. There's shopping too. There's great little local shops, and a lot of ways to, groups that get together to exercise together, and to, just different ways to find community. So it's hard to say, but we have easily over 40 different practitioners of different kinds there to that's the whole kind of the point, is there are so many needs when you become a parent. It's not just baby comes and you've got everything figured out. And so there's a lot of different services that you might end up needing, that it's best to have under your belt just in case. We didn't know. I had no idea what a pediatric OT was before, and we had to learn the long way around, and speech therapy and all these different things. And hopefully some of these individuals don't need them, but it's good to know what you have before you, in case you do.
Yeah. And I think probably for anybody, just the idea that's like, oh, I met this person at this thing. I can send them an email or text them and get resources or answers to questions, right? That's
right.
I would imagine that's a huge piece of what
So
comes out of it.
So much of becoming a parent is commoditized too. Everything costs so much money ahead of time, and the goal is to try and get some base level of information without having to spend that money first, because it's hard to know whether when you're having to pay for everything. It's hard to know, are you being sold something or do you really need it? And so there's a quite a passionate perinatal community here in Charlotte, and that there's a lot of people that are not only practitioners but they're parents too, and they're doing what they're doing because they've been there and they have their own story, and so they're very passionate about helping people struggle less and being there if that's what you need. It's a fun event, but it's also just for us in the community. It's a really feel-good event, because it's all about helping families get through thriving instead of surviving.
And it kicks off at NoDa Brewing Saturday morning at
11 to 2.
And so perfect. She said it earlier. The weather's going to be outstanding. Sticky When Wet is on tap. So you've got
Woody will be there because he's my personal slave that one day a year.
That's correct.
But he gets beer out of it. So
he does get
he's
beer
happy.
out of it. Yes.
And he probably gets to bring the dog too, which is
No
dog?
No.
Oh, really?
Because he's going to be working.
Oh,
So, and the dog is too much work
gotcha.
itself.
But
even
he will
the
get
even the
scritches
kids
before
might
I
be there.
leave.
I'm sorry. He'll get what?
What?
He'll get scritches before I leave.
Oh, of course.
Scritches?
Do you not scritch your dog? Your dog has never been scritched?
Is that a combination of a scratch and an itch?
You give him scritches.
Okay.
Yes. Come on, you baby talk your dog. You know you do.
Oh,
Right,
yes.
I
I've
just-
just never said scritches.
Right.
I'm not.
Okay.
That's not.
You bet your britches you're getting scritches.
Sorry, Sin. The dog is ahead of you. I can tell.
He's talking about his lover, so we're going to give you a wide berth. Well, that's cool. So, and I know you guys have social media too. If somebody was just listening and wanted to find you guys, where do you send them?
Yeah, everything. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We're at MindBodyBabyNC. And that's the same for our website as well, mindbodybabync.org. We're also going to have these amazing raffle packages, upwards of $1,000 worth. Each package is worth up to about $1,000 worth of items that are really useful for, again, this journey. And so, and you could actually start bidding on those now, even if you can't make it. You don't have to be there to win those.
Cool.
Is that on the website?
Yes, it's on the website. There's an event page. Everything is right there.